Hi, I'm Andrea Graves, Director of Operations at the Retirement Education Center. And we want to thank you for tuning in to our Retirement Education Center Tuesday Tips. We created our Tuesday Tips in order to provide you with quick, simple ideas to help you reach your retirement goals. For additional concepts on how to maximize your retirement income, please subscribe to our YouTube channel and hit the notification bell to be notified when we upload new videos.
Hi, my name is Carson Graves, President and CEO of the Retirement Education Center, and I want to welcome you once again to our Tuesday Tips. Now today what we're going to be briefly discussing is the Windfall Elimination Provision, also known as WEP. Now this provision has been a thorn in the side of many state and local government employees. Now, it's been around since 1983, and I can tell you that if you fall under this provision, we are going to help you understand how you may can even eliminate this provision in your own right, and also how you can even reduce it as well. But you're definitely going to want to stay locked in today if you're going to be affected by the Windfall Elimination Provision. Now, the first thing that I want to do is talk about how do you fall under this provision. One, you have to have worked in a private sector job where you have at least 40 credits for Social Security, meaning that you're actually qualified to receive a Social Security benefit on your record, but you're also qualified to receive a pension from a non-Social Security covered job. And so therefore, if you fall in this particular situation, your Social Security benefits may be reduced. With that being said, the longer you actually work for a covered Social Security job, your reduction will be less. As a matter of fact, there is no WEP reduction if you actually work under a covered Social Security job for more than 30 years. And we're going to talk a little bit more about that in just a moment. Under this provision, unlike its really despicable relative, the GPO, known as a government pension offset, which we're going to also do a video on as well for you for a Tuesday tip, with this provision, you will always receive at least some benefit amount. More than 2 million people are actually affected by the Windfall Elimination Provision. But help is on the way. There are actually two pieces of legislation that is actually on the table. One, the Social Security Fairness Act of 2021, and it's bipartisan support to actually repeal the WEP and the GPO, the Windfall Elimination Provision, and the government pension offset. And another piece of legislation known as Social Security 2100, also known as a Sacred Trust Act. This is also a bipartisan bill that is actually scheduled to eliminate the Windfall Elimination Provision and the government pension offset. Now, one of the things as we expand our discussion on the Windfall Elimination Provision that you need to make note of is that you have to understand if you have substantial earnings or not, and if you have 30 years or more of substantial earnings. Now, for 2022, that would equate to you making over $27,300 per year, and you need 30 years or more of substantial earnings. If you do, your Social Security first bend point calculation will be at 90%. Anything below that, if you fall under this provision, you will have a reduced first calculation on that bend point. It can go as low as 40%. This is where people actually get really, really upset if they do not have enough years of substantial earnings, because they're going to be at the maximum amount of the reduction. Now, we don't get into bend points in this particular video, but we do have videos on this so you can understand it better. And I encourage you to go take a look at that if you want to dive in a little bit deeper. Now, that 90% is going to be calculated off of $1,024 in 2022. And it's going to be based off of your AMI, which is your annual index monthly earnings. Like I said, if you want to know more about this, you want to go and watch our other videos on the Windfall Elimination Provision, and we go into a little bit deeper dive on this. But with that being the case, just understand you can easily see that if you fall under this provision of any lower percentage, then your Social Security PIA, your primary insurance amount, is inevitably going to be lower. So if we take a look at a hypothetical example here of a worker, now we have a worker here, A, and we can see that their years of coverage is 20, or their substantial earnings is 20. So they only have 20 years. So therefore, we're going to look at them being calculated at 40% for their first PIA factor. Now, we've already calculated their PIA in this example, but we're now looking at this hypothetical example of them having a primary insurance amount at their full retirement years of $1,234. Now, when we go ahead and tack on the windfall elimination provision, reduction, that's going to be the maximum reduction of $512 in 2022. With that being the case, their WELP PIA, instead of being $1,234, it's going to be $722. But there is one other element that you have to make note of. They are receiving a non-covered pension of $800 a year. According to the government guarantee with this provision, they can never reduce your benefits by more than 50% of your pension. So instead of the $512 coming off of your PIA, only $400 will come off of your PIA. So instead of receiving a WELP PIA of $722, this person in this example will be receiving a Social Security benefit of $834 because they have a reduction of $400 as opposed to $512. So hopefully, for what you can gather today from this tip is that if you are in the position to where you have a reduction of your benefits, depending on how many years of substantial earnings you have, you decide maybe you go work into a private sector job, get more years of coverage, and maybe eventually eliminate this provision from your Social Security benefits altogether. So I really do hope that the information that we shared today will be beneficial for you understanding how you can eliminate the windfall elimination provision. Please note that this information is created for educational purposes only, and that you should always seek out your own financial advisor, your own tax advisor, and your own attorney regarding your personal situation. Also, if you are looking for a fiduciary financial advisor to help you with these types of complex financial matters, we highly recommend that you utilize the links in our description below and go ahead and schedule a 1-hour free consultation with us today. Also, remember to subscribe to our channel, like this video, and share it with others.